Are you ready to practice speaking English? In this video, we will have some fun and interactive conversations together. It's the perfect way to speak English out loud and grow your confidence. So let's get started. Here is how it will work. First, I will give you a speaking question or prompt, and you will pause the video and give your response as if you were really speaking to me. Next, I will give my response to the same question. Then, I will show you some useful phrases that I used in my answer and explain how you can use them as well. You will then give your response again, but this time you will improve it and be more fluent because you will use my useful phrases. Make sure that you are pausing the video and speaking out loud when I give you the signal so that you can really practice your English speaking and become more fluent and confident. Let's get started with speaking prompt number 1. What's your favorite thing about where you live? Pause the video and take a moment to answer the question. Well done. Okay, now it's my turn to give my response to the same question. Well, I'm currently living in Mexico City, and I really love the fact that there are so many trees everywhere. In most of the neighborhoods, when you're walking down the street, you are always surrounded by trees. The reason I like this is because I think it gives a nice feel to the city to see green spaces everywhere you go, but it also really helps in the summer when it's very hot. I think the trees help to cool things down and give a little bit of shade while you're walking around. But ultimately, I just think that trees make a city look more beautiful, and that is why it is my favorite thing about this city. Okay, let's look at some phrases I used in my answer. I love the fact that. So this is a good way to introduce the thing that you like. For example, I said, I love the fact that there are lots of trees. But you could say, I love the fact that the weather is nice. I love the fact that my city is close to the sea. I love the fact that people here are really friendly. The reason I like this is because, so introducing our reason why it's our favorite thing. And then at the end, I gave lots of reasons why I liked the trees in my city, and then I finished by saying, and that's why it's my favorite thing about this city. Or that's why it's my favorite thing about where I live. So now, pause the video again and have a go at giving another response, but this time, try to use some of the phrases that I included in my answer. Well done, and I hope the second time you felt more fluent and more confident. Now let's move on to prompt number 2. Talk about the last party you attended. Pause and answer. Well done, now it's my turn. The last party I went to was a hen party for one of my best friends who was getting married. It was a party for her, the bridesmaids, and her friends to celebrate together before the wedding. It was an amazing day. We first met for a very delicious brunch where we all got together in the hotel, ate lots of delicious food, and then we got ready for the evening event, which was a boat ride around Sydney Harbour. The most memorable thing about that party was, of course, being in Sydney Harbour at night with all of the city lights, all of our friends together on the boat. We had such a lovely time. We listened to good music, and it was a great opportunity to celebrate together before the wedding. So let's look at some useful phrases I used. The last party I went to was, and you can say the party or event that it was. It was a party for, or it was a party to. So here you're talking about the purpose of the party. For example, it was a party to celebrate a wedding. It was a party for all of the friends of the bride. It was a party to celebrate a birthday. It was a party for all of my family to get together. The most memorable thing about the party was. The most memorable thing is the thing that you remember the most. So now have a go at answering that prompt again, and this time use some of these phrases in your answer. If you're enjoying this video and finding this speaking practice useful, please help me out by hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel for more English language learning content just like this. Now let's continue with prompt number 3. What is the most challenging thing about your job? Pause the video and answer. Well done, now it's my turn. Well, as you probably know, I'm a teacher, and for me, staying energetic during my teaching day is really challenging. It's difficult because teaching does require a lot of energy, and especially when you're teaching online, you have to be very charismatic and pay attention to what your students are saying, and also use your brain a lot to answer their questions and teach the language. And this can sometimes really drain my energy. Another challenge is because I teach online, sometimes not being able to be with the students face to face is a little bit of a barrier. And for that reason, you do need to be a lot more energetic, I think, than you would be in person. However, after saying all of those things, I do love my job. And even though it does require a lot of energy, I still wouldn't change it. Okay, let's look at some useful phrases I used. For me is really challenging. And you'll notice I used the ing form. For me, staying energetic is really challenging. Another example, you could say, for me, sitting at a desk all day is really challenging. Or for me, working in a team is challenging. It's difficult because, so your reason why. Another challenge is, so introducing another aspect of your job that's challenging. Now pause the video and answer the question again. Try to use some of these phrases. Well done, let's move on to prompt number 4. How do you start your day? Pause and answer. Well done, now it's my turn. I always start my day by doing some stretching. So because in my job I sit at a desk all day long, I think it's very important to do some morning exercises to get my body moving and warmed up so that I'm not always in a stationary position. So I get up and I do some stretches. Another important part of my morning routine is taking my dogs outside for a walk, so that is usually the thing that I do next. I also like to spend some time having my coffee and just sitting down and writing a list of things to do for the day because it helps me feel more prepared for everything that's coming up. Now let's look at some phrases I used. I always start my day by, and again we use the ing form. I always start my day by doing stretches. I always start my day by drinking coffee. An important part of my morning routine is, again, I use the ing. An important part of my morning routine is walking the dogs. An important part of my morning routine is having a coffee or writing a list. I also like to, and here I've used the infinitive. I like to spend some time making a list. I like to have a coffee. I like to walk the dogs. Now have a go, give your answer again, and use these useful phrases. Well done, moving on to prompt number 5. If you could change one thing in your city, what would it be? Pause and answer. Well done, now it's my turn. Well, I live in Mexico City, and something I would like to improve is the way the roads are organized. Traffic is a really big problem here, and that's because there's lots of people. And this can cause problems because at certain times of the day, it takes a very long time to get from one part of the city to another. So I'm not exactly sure how I would improve this problem, but I do think that it is an important one. And if I could improve the traffic, it would really impact people's lives because it wouldn't take as long to get places, people wouldn't be late for work, and people wouldn't have to spend so much time sitting in the car, which isn't a very nice way to spend your day. Okay, let's look at useful phrases, and you will notice here that I was using the second conditional because this was talking about a hypothetical situation. If you could change something about your city, what would it be? And I said, something I would like to improve is the traffic or the transport or the way the roads are organized. So I would like to improve. Something is a problem in my city. Traffic is a problem in my city. Overcrowding is a problem in my city. Crime is a problem in my city. So this is what you can use to introduce the problem. And next, we've got a conditional. If I could improve the, it would. If I could improve the traffic, it would help people because. If I could improve the crime rate, it would make a big difference to people's lives, for example. So we're using the second conditional. We're talking about something that's hypothetical. So now pause the video and try and use that second conditional in your response. Well done! I hope that now you are feeling more fluent and confident. If you want to continue the journey and feel even more fluent in your English speaking, then I have another video for you right here where you can practice some more.